So the Overwatch Workshop is finally back, which means I'll be showing you how to create your own game modes within Overwatch with no programming experience needed whatsoever. So we're going to be starting right from the very beginning. So to start, let's jump in to the UI. So here we are in Overwatch, and the first thing that we're going to want to do is go to Play, go to the Custom Games option here, and then hit Create. This is how we create our own custom games, and obviously within this menu there's a lot of things we can do. We can open this custom game up for everybody, or just friends, or just invite only if you want to. If we go up here to settings, you'll see we've got these 6 tabs. The first is presets. These are presets that are baked in by default, and you won't see the top ones as these are saved presets that I've created or saved. You'll see the standard, the arcade, and the workshop examples. The standard ones are just typical game modes like push and control and escort, etc, etc. The arcade ones are all the arcade modes that you can cycle through, so like mystery duel and 4v4 team deathmatch, etc. And then you've got some workshop examples, and we'll come to look at these at some point. But yeah, I highly recommend you have a look at how these work. If we go back, we'll cover custom game settings in a different video, but we've got lots of lobby options and modes and maps and things like that. What we are interested in though is this workshop tab here. So if we click this, you'll be met with this menu. It's completely empty. You've got some buttons at the top, and you'll see it says no rules. The Overwatch Workshop works on a rule system, and we'll do a whole video on how rules work, but for the time being, what you're going to want to do is hit the plus button here. So once we do this, a rule is added. For this example, we're going to create a free-for-all game mode in which when you die, you respawn instantly. And we're going to use these rules to do this. When you create a rule, you'll see this event tab here. If we click the drop down, you'll see a bunch of different events, such as players earning an elimination, a player dealing damage, and so on. These rules happen when the events in this drop down take place. For example, if a player earns an elimination, that's when this rule will happen. You should be able to see now that when we have multiple rules that happen at different times, we can stack them all together to create a really fun and interesting game mode. But for our example, what we want is we want the player died rule. When a player dies, we want to respawn them instantly. Now, how do we do this? Well, in this rules now, you'll see we've got team and player, so we can have rules that specify specific teams and specific players, but we just want all players for this example. You'll see we have conditions and actions. In the rules video, we'll cover conditions and how they work, but for the time being, I want you to hit the plus button on the actions, and you'll be met with this menu. The top one that says action has a drop down with every action in the game that you can take, and you can see there's a lot of actions. The one we want, of course, though, is the respawn action. So we're going to go ahead and click this and type respawn, and you'll see we've got all these respawn options such as set respawn max time and so on, but we just want the respawn action. And who do we want to respawn? Well, we want to respawn the player that the event refers to. So we're going to click event player, which should be there by default, and then hit OK. And now, so if we have a look at this, we have this rule that is called when this player dies, and we're going to respawn that player straight away. So to run this now, hit escape twice, and that will take you back. With this, I want to change some things like map and the game mode and so on. So we want this to be a free-for-all game mode. So I'm going to go to modes here at the top. I'm going to deselect all of these modes, so push, control, and so on, and we're going to click deathmatch and then hit on. Yeah, there we go. So the only mode available is deathmatch, and for the maps, I don't know what map you want to do it before, but I want Black Forest, so let's turn Black Forest on, and you'll see if we go back twice by hitting escape that we have Black Forest activated, and if we hit start, we should be able to jump into this game mode that we created. Selecting a hero now, you'll see that if I die, I'll be respawned straight away. There's no timer or anything. So yeah, that shows that our rules are working. Now, just to check that this is working as intended, we can actually open up that workshop menu from within this game. And the way we do that is we hit escape to open up the menu here, and then we click open workshop editor. And you'll see we're back to the workshop editor, but we're still in game, so that's really nice. If we make a change here, it won't be made in the game we're currently in straight away. You have to restart the game mode. So let's just see what happens if we turn this off. So to turn off an entire rule, you click the tick box and you hit the off on switch up top, and we can turn off this rule. Now you'll see in the bottom left in the chat bar, it says custom game settings updated will take effect next match. So we do need to restart our match, and there's an easy way to do that. We can hit show lobby and then restart. So now that we've turned off this rule, let's see what happens when we die. Whoops. You'll see that we don't respawn instantly, and it makes me press space to respawn. So there you have it, your first Overwatch game mode. So in the coming videos, we're definitely going to go into more detail about rules, conditions, events, actions, and all of these things. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.